Wealth Builder. I hope you get some great ideas this week on how to forward your dreams. This week is all about cold calling. We all know as real estate professionals, cold calls reach is a major part of the real estate game-winning strategy. We can't expect all of our efforts to be wrapped around social media and networking events. We can't expect all of our leads to come from the internet, even though we put so much time and energy into branding, internet, social media, posting, editing, commenting, all of it. We can't expect all of our leads to come from the internet, though. The thing is, before social media and the blow-up of advertising industry, the best way to get a message to someone was calling them on the phone, knocking on the door, or sending a letter. In my practice and efforts, I do all three. I have literally knocked on the door of a landlord's actual house because I couldn't reach them by phone and they were not answering my letters. This approach doesn't work for everyone, and I'm not recommending it to everyone, but I am sharing what I have done and will do if needed. I always use common sense and good judgment, and you do the same. Today we're focused on cold calling, and it rings true no matter, now more than ever. In a world of text messaging and cold emails, hearing a person's voice increases the opportunity in initial interest and lasting connection. The art of letting your client hear your voice is priceless. In order for your voice to become the voice of your market, your voice must be heard. Here are some important must-haves. You need a notebook. You should have a notebook dedicated to cold calling. This is where you will keep your notes and track your progress. I would love to see how fast you fill up your notebooks with juicy business and connections. You will write notes on the paper while you're on the phone. I would rather you not be looking into the computer, not be doing data entry. I'd rather you just being a good listener and writing down what you are hearing. Keep your notebook handy and make sure you write neat enough to read your own writing. It's necessary if you need to double check on spelling of a name while talking to a client, please do. So I found out the best way for me to make cold calls is to time block out 2 to 3 hours a day to make as many calls as I can. You can complement this with neighborhood walking, prospecting, and things like that. Feel free to do more calls, but this usually will get you about 50 quality calls in between that 2 to 3 hours. And out of those 50 calls, you may speak to 11 to 15 people, depending on the time of day. There's a whole system to cold calling and blocking out not only time, but neighborhoods, areas, districts, product types, landlords, tenants, developers, businesses, etc. Who are you going to call? If you want to stay on top of your game, you have to cold call. Cold calling is an action item you must make time for each week. The more businesses and landlords you have in your CRM, the better. You could speak to someone who need your assistance in the future, and through cold calling and calling to connect, you might have ideas and you might want to have business with them later. But in any type of thing, you want to be able to offer a little bit of value before you make the call, right? You want to think about some of the things that you can do before you make the call and how you can have a value exchange and response and in exchange to this person's time. This person is responding and giving you the information, and you will have a value exchange to help give them, for them to be able to feel great. This is worth my time. Oh, this might help my business, or this might be a business opportunity for me to know someone who has their ear to the streets in the area of the businesses that I run.